Wisdom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from whichever part of the world you are in. Today, we have a guest among us. She is a very passionate about people and change. And she is going to take us through that journey about her passions, her change in life. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leo's YouTube channel, Speak to Your Heart. And today, she is a woman of substance, a woman who has overcome all barriers, climbed every mountain possible to be where she is today. She is an inspiration not only to me, but to many persons I know that I have come across. Her strength as a facilitator comes from a vision. Her vision is to raise a community through consciousness awareness to create a life to the fullest. She has indeed lived a life to her fullest at the moment, but she is not content with it and she wants more and more of it. With a firm belief that life is not all about chance, but about change, a focused change. And change comes within you. She believes that you are the change if you want to create the change around you. From being a homemaker of many years, she went on to a vocational woman, inspiring many along the way of her journey to success as a successful entrepreneur. She is a coach and an entrepreneur, and a good part of her life was very docile, being a home minister or homemaker. Not being happy with that and not being contented with that part of life, she felt her inner calling that she has much more to offer to people in life, and then just being resigned to herself. And there was a paradigm shift in her life at the age of 37. She built herself up bit by bit, learning the nuances of what is life all about. Over the years, she garnered all the tools, the skills, the resources required to be successful in a field. And ladies and gentlemen, the most important part of it is she is willing to share her secrets of success to you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to you. And I'm happy to have her today on our channel, Leo's YouTube channel, Speak to Your Heart. She is going to take us through the journey, how she overcome, her life of self-misery, feeling self-pity for her, where her self-worth, self-esteem, self-respect was low to a level far beyond her imagination can hold. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together to welcome the one and only Shagufta Patel. Good
Hello,
morning.
DT and Leo. Good morning to you. How are you today?
I'm very good. So good to see
Thank you.
you, Shagufta
Yes,
Patel.
I'm
Welcome.
so excited to be talking to you like this. And thank you so much for that wonderful introduction that you gave. Thank
You're
you so
most
much.
in, you're most welcome. You deserve every bit of it because to me, you are a woman of substance.
yes.
You
And
you are the epitome today. You are the image of women's empowerment, which I feel is lacking in today's world, because of the nepotism that goes on in every field where men only are valued or glorified or given importance. It's like a man's world. No, it is a woman's world too. And you are that shining example, that light. You are the beacon of light for all the women around the world. And proud to have you on our channel. Yeah. You have anything to say before I tell the audience that you are going to tell us about yourself in three parts? How you got here, your success story, which you title it as Wow, Woo to Wow. Your woo
Yes.
story to your wow story. How you got there and where you want to go. Also, your past, your present, and your future, your ambitions, which will inspire us. Over to you, Shagufta Patel. Please tell us about your childhood, your start in life, and your present, how you got here, and your future.
Yes, certainly. So it all started, of course, way back when I was born to my parents, and nothing changed at that point in time. The world was just the same. But then it certainly changed the life of my parents because I was a child who was born to them after a very long wait. So I was a precious child to them. And also my uncle and aunt, who by then had given up hopes of having kids of their own. So you can well imagine how loved I was, how protected I was. And I was born in a very Muslim conservative family. And life for me was just home and school. And so, there was no internet at that time. Of course, I'm talking about the 1970s. And growing up in that environment, in that atmosphere, though I had a lot of love from my parents, but at the same time with no exposure, I grew up to be a very, very timid, a very, very reserved kind of a child growing up. And I never felt that was all that sad. And I was very fond of reading books at that point in time and very quiet, very reserved, very, very timid child I was. So the years went by and I eventually got married whilst I was still in college. I had not finished my graduation yet, and immediately, soon after my first child, my daughter was born when I was just 20 years old. I did finish my graduation after that. Years rolled on. I had some happy, some sad, some very exciting moments, of course, in life. My second child was born 4.5 years later. He was a boy. And a lot was going on, but I wasn't happy in my marriage. It was actually quite a nightmarish marriage, if I can call it that. And so in the year 2010, which was almost a decade ago, exactly, I mean, it was last April. I remember it so, so vividly. It was April 2010 when I decided to end my marriage of 17 years. It was by far the toughest choice and decision that I had to make for myself. It wasn't easy, of course, being 37 years of age, two teenage kids. My daughter was 16 at that time, my son was 12. And I had never worked in my life before. So I didn't know what an office looked like. I didn't know how to make a resume. It was a very, very tough choice and decision I was making for myself. And of course, everybody around me, my family, my well-wishers, were very concerned about me because they were scared of, how I would go forward in life. I was scared too. I was really, really fearful of uncertainties that lay ahead. It was very tough, very daunting time for me. Now, at the same time, I did realize that I had to get myself out of that situation if I wanted to be the mother that I wanted to be, wanted to be the daughter, the friend I wanted to be. Because being in that atmosphere was literally, killing me on the inside. There would, when I would just stand at the window not knowing what to do. And there were days when I would, just sit there, tears rolling down my cheeks, and I didn't really understand what to do because life was actually so miserable at that point in time. And then I decided that no, this cannot continue because, you know, I firmly believe in this that circumstances may have determined where you are, but you yourself are responsible where you want to see yourself, what do you want to make of your life. We don't decide where we are born. That is something that, we are sent by God, and we don't decide the school we go to, the initial choices that we make. It's decided by our parents. And sometimes, yeah, we can't even control the circumstances. We just see ourselves in them. But then, yes, we definitely do have the choice to redefine our life the way we want it to be. And so that was it for me. That was the deciding moment when I decided, no, um, this is not going to work because I could not even be the mother I wanted to be to my children. I was so broken from the inside. And so in 2010, I decided to end my marriage. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was a journey of discovering myself, I would say, and it started at the age of 37. Um,
I must say,
not
sorry to interrupt you, but I must say it
yeah,
was a very, very bold decision, especially in today's world, to embark on the journey of life all alone with two children. Indeed, I mean, something to behold, I must say. Please tell us more about it.
yes. So at that point in time, it was very scary because I had no savings. You know how it is with our Indian culture. The women are not given the money. All the finances are in the control of the husband. I was not working. I was a homemaker all these years, taking care of the children, taking care of the house, helping, assisting my husband in business, but having nothing to my name, no savings. And I was coming back again to my father's house, which was again, he was old. He was not, things were not good even back then. So it was definitely a very challenging, very scary thought. But then for me at that point in time, there was this one thing that I read somewhere, TMD, which had a very profound impact on me. And that quote was that one cannot serve from an empty bowl. You cannot serve from an empty bowl. And that thought, it just kind of hit me, you know, because I was feeling like that empty bowl. I was totally empty. I was totally drained out of everything. I didn't feel connected to my own self. And so if even if I wanted to do things for others, I wanted to do things for my family, for my children, for my parents, for my siblings, for my friends around me, I had nothing inside me to give them. I felt like that empty void. And so it made a lot of sense to me that yes, I need to fill myself up first. I need to take care of myself first before I can even start doing anything for others. And that was the thought that kind of gave me the courage to take this step. It was not easy, definitely not easy. It was very challenging. I didn't know where to start because, like I told you, I had not even worked in my life before. So I didn't know what I should be doing or which direction I should be going to.
In other
But then
words,
I
you
thought
mean,
everybody
sorry to
you need.
interrupt you here, but in other words, you mean you had nobody to guide you other than yourself, nobody to rely on,
Yes,
nobody
at
to
that point in
depend
time,
on.
no, because it was not only that I was dealing with myself and the society, the family around me. I also had my children who needed me as the emotional anchor. So I was not alone. I had these two kids with me. I had to kind of balance and take care of their emotional well-being as well. And again, the family that I come from, nobody is in service or in employment. They are all small business people. So nobody had any idea about going for interviews or going for jobs and things like that. And by then, I had lost touch with all my friends as well. We didn't have internet at that time. We didn't have WhatsApp. We had no internet. By then, yes, it was just starting off 2010. Yes, we did have, but I was not so savvy. also not connected, because all these years of my married life, I was so caught up with my own self of just trying to make sense of what's happening, that I really had lost touch with and connection with a lot of my friends then, who were probably working or were in the field. But then, like
So,
everything, you've got to make a start somewhere.
yes.
Yes, you're
So
saying
your paradigm shift, which happened at the age 37, you said, where I like that quote of yours. One cannot serve from an empty bowl. So you wanted to fill yourself. You had that self-realization on that part, I must say. And yes, after realizing it, you needed to fill it to take care of two of your precious gems along with you. You had responsibility to them. But tell me,
yes.
Shagufta Patel, how long did it take for you from that age, 37, when you stepped out into the world, into a very challenging, daunting, huge, I would say, monumental task of being alone in the world with two siblings to take care of? How long did it realize for you to take that, yes, now this is what I want to do, and this is what I have to do, and this is what I must do? Please tell us about it.
So after by when I decided to take that step, by then it was very clear to me that I need to do this for myself. And with that conviction, with that determination, I came back to my parents' house. So the initial 1 year, of course, was very, very tough, because I was going through the divorce proceedings, and I had to readmit, and I was in a different city. So I moved from a different city. I was not even in the same city. So I had to run about for my kids' admissions in school. Iram had just passed out of school, so it was the beginning of college for her. And she was still 16 years, so she was still a little emotionally mature. But for my son, it was, it was like a wow, what has just happened here? So he was, at a very emotional level where he needed a lot of emotional anchoring. So initial few months, or say up to a year, I actually didn't work, or did I building myself. And I, instead of wasting time, I thought it's best, like, let me start building up my profile, or my, in a way that I can step out and do something. So whilst home, take care of these two. And by then, of course, I had my family support as well, because they realized that she's not going back on a decision anymore. So at least, I had a place to live, which was my parents' place. And then, of course, they were very supportive of whatever I decided to do. I enrolled myself in an executive MBA program, because I had to start somewhere, and that was the only thing that was, that came to me. I didn't know about anything else. So I enrolled myself in a distant or executive MBA program. And when the children used to go to school, I used to do my online studies, or I had these of choice where I could go for classes as well. It was over the weekends. So I started off there. And then after a year, when things settled down a bit, that's when I decided to start looking for a job. It was it was so hilarious, because I didn't know, I knew nothing. So it was all learning along the way, and I didn't even carry my resume for my first interview.
So, at
And of
what
course,
age was that
it
you
ended
started
even
looking
before
for
it
a
started.
job? What
It
age?
was a year later, so it was around 38, or
So,
around 38, yeah.
and all that time between then and the 38, whatever, you were burning the midnight oil, taking care of two children, studying and upgrading and developing yourself to be ready for the
Yes,
corporate world. Wow. Please
yeah.
tell us.
Yeah. So after that, yeah, my first interview was, like I said, it was a disaster. I didn't even carry a resume. I didn't know what to do. But then that's how you learn. Failures are like stepping stones, which just teach you every time. So then after I did some research, I got hold of a few friends. I kind of, had mock interviews with them. One of them just do this mock interview with me. And I read a lot about it. And then, of course, another one or two interviews, which gave me a little more practice, and then I landed my first job with GM Financial Services. So that is how it all started. I was still studying then, and I started as a grievance officer for their franchisees pan India. So GM Financial Services is a stockbroking house, finance house, and their franchisees, and I was the grievance officer for their franchisees pan India. I started with that, and within 2 or 3 months of me joining, the office shifted to a very far off place. And so I was finding it very difficult to commute because I was traveling almost like 4.5 hours in a day. Then the job, then studying, all of it was getting too
But where did
much,
you,
too.
sorry to interrupt you here, but where did you get the time? Did you manufacture the time? Wow.
No, it was challenging. It was,
Indeed, a
and so I
woman of
started. Yes,
substance, I must say. Yeah.
yeah, it was getting very exhausting because coming back home, then you had to do your share of the household chores as well, so that was not exempted. You're not exempted from that as well. So it was getting difficult, and like I said, if things get challenging, you've got to look for solutions. Yeah, you always have to be looking for solutions, and that's what I did. I started looking for another job, and which was closer to home. It was not that I was not happy with the job, but it was just that because of the distance now and because of a 4.5 hours of travel, it was just taking a toll on my health. I was lucky to get an opening or an opportunity with Femina, and Femina is India's leading women's magazine. Luckily, that profile did not require any kind of a background or an academic background in journalism. I was assisting with the production process. So I joined Femina, which was again the Times of India office was quite close to where I lived. So that worked beautifully. And I was with Team Femina, with the edit team for 3 years. And during this time, I finished my MBA in marketing. I did very well. I topped my batch. And again, it was in marketing, but by the time I finished it, it was also a journey of self-exploration, a journey of self-discovery. And by the time I finished my MBA in marketing, I realized, no, marketing is not what I want to do. This is not something that interests me. Definitely not. I can't see myself doing this. So again, I started looking for other options. What is it that I would be interested in? And by then, I had a little bit of awareness about what interests were, what was that I would be wanting to do. And so I came across this course in image management. It caught my attention, and I kind of went for the orientation. I quite liked what it was, and it worked beautifully because the classes were every Sunday. So between my work and studying this, I could very well manage it. I joined that course of image management. It was a 1-year program, and that was again another turning point in my life because that is what now I do. So when I finished that course in image management, and by the time I came to the end of the course, and this forms the basis of what I do now. So what really image management is that, let me ask you, DTM Leo, what do you understand by image? What do you understand by?
What I understand by image is basically it's about yourself, how you portray yourself, how you brand yourself. Because brand is everything in Dubai, at least, well, not only in Dubai, all over the world. So, how you carry yourself forward, what you are, who you are, what are the values you stand for. The values like integrity, ethics, moral, compassion, you know, respect, and whatever they may be. What is it? Like, what is DTM Leo standing for, basically? And what is the brand awareness that he creates with people? What is that people looked up to Leo for? That is my.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And to add to that, so image is everything about you, is the way people perceive you. So everything about the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way, like you said, how you project yourself, how you present yourself to the world, uh, your etiquette, your mannerisms, your behaviors, all of it put together is your image. And then how you're managing your image, which creates that perception of you, which people then carry with them, right?
Yeah.
And we know in today's world, not only in Dubai, everywhere, be it your
Can I
personal
just
life.
stop you here now for a moment? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to watch now Shagufta Patel, the passion which is she speaks from now, the passion that she speaks about image consultant that she is, which is oozing out not only from her mouth but from her eyes as well as her facial expression. And it is oozing out from the heart because from the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, and so does the eyes. Because the mouth is the door to the heart, while the eyes are the windows to the heart. Please carry on. I love the passion in you now.
Thank you so much, dear Leo. So coming back to where I was, image basically, yes, it's not only about your professional life, it's also very important in your social and your personal life. Not only in Dubai, all over the world. It's important for students, it's important for housewives, it's important for working executives, it's important for CEOs, everybody. We all carry an image all the time, whether you're aware of it or you're not aware of it. And during that 1 year, though we were taught about 3 elements of image, right now I speak of 5, more study about it, I've added 2 more to it. Let me just run you through it very quickly. So first would be the appearance and grooming. So the first thing when you meet somebody for the very first time, what you notice about the person is the appearance and the grooming, right? And again, these are 5 main elements, but then each of them have a lot of sub elements within each of them, and collectively they make up your image, right? So there's a lot to what goes in making you who you really are. So it's about appearance and grooming. And then let me just tell you a little briefly about this also.
If you
When
can
you talk
just
about
run through
appearance,
it quickly, because I want to get to all the other aspects of your life, what you do, which is a huge package. Please
yes,
go
okay,
ahead.
right. So appearance, yeah, very quickly. So appearance would be elements of clothing, which is line, shape, color, texture, pattern. There's the international style scale. There's your personal style scale. There's the yin and yang of clothing. There's the yin and yang of your own personality. There is the face shape, the body shape, your personal colors, the accessories that you should wear. All of it put together, you can actually tweak the way you carry yourself to create the impression that you want. Then coming to the B, so it's A, B, C, D, E, right? Coming to the B, it would be your body language, it would be your behaviors, which includes your emotional quotient, which includes your adversity quotient, which includes your etiquette, your mannerism, everything about it, and also your beliefs, because we know that the results come from our actions, and the actions are nothing but a function of our beliefs that we carry. So that is a major thing, right? And to alter beliefs, because I know while growing up, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of self-imposed limitations within me, which stopped me from doing things that I wanted. So I had to work a lot on myself to break these barriers, right? And then a lot of work that I do, I use tools like NLP, like hypnotherapy, like M-braining, which is multiple brain integration technique. I use the journey practitioner, a little bit of those things that I've been doing. So these are little tools that I use when I work with individuals. Then coming to the C part of it, which is the communication, right? So communication again is visual, it's verbal, it's vocal. Visual is the outward, the visual appeal, which is 55%. Verbal is the words you use, which is just 7%. But then again, I think words also make a lot of difference, not only in others, but also on yourself. That's where the whole concept of self-talk comes from. And then there's the vocal, how you say it, which is around 38%. So which would
Vocal?
include your voice. Yeah,
No. Yeah, okay. Vocal,
yeah.
you said visual?
Verbal and vocal.
Yeah, visual you
So
said is 55,
yeah, visual is 55,
verbal
verbal
is
is
38,
7.
and vocal is 7 then.
No, verbal is 7 and vocal is 38.
Oh, verbal is, okay, all right. Yeah,
Yeah, verbal is
that's
the
it.
words that you use is 7
Good.
and vocal is 38. So your volume, your voice modulation basically,
Correct.
how you say the volume, the tone, the
Yeah,
pitch.
can we go to the next
Yeah,
part because of the time?
all right, sorry. Then we have the D, which is the digital DNA. So how are you putting yourself out there with the digital DNA in the social media? And the last one, which I've added, is the energy, which is again very, very important. And a lot of people don't realize this. We keep talking about vibes all the time. We feel really nice around some people. We don't feel good in certain places. The vibes that the person carries. And the vibes is affected, again, the vibrations that you give out is affected by the thoughts that you carry, and also you have an energy body. So just like how you clean your physical self, and you also need to do a lot of energy clearing all the time. So, your image is actually made up of all these five elements, and it's very important for each person to work on each of these elements very consciously. So you can manage it, definitely, to create the impression that you want to move forward in life. And that's what I've been doing all these years now.
Wow, that is very impressive. In a nutshell, you told us about your what is image and
Yeah,
how it portrays or affects the person, and how we can
true,
raise our bar of performance where the image is concerned. Hmm.
true, true.
Now, this is what you do, I get it. Now, where do you go from here? What is your vision now from here onwards? What are your ambitions in life? I do know that, yes, you want to create a change in your community, the place where you work, the place around you, whatever you do in life, in your community, in your society, and the world around. What tell us a bit more about your ambitions, your path from here onwards to the future. What's your vision?
All right. So just to add to what I do, I didn't add here that I also work with parents, and I do something called as a sleep talk process,
Okay.
where all the other things that I work with individuals to help them live their life. And I also work with parents where we do the sleep talk process, which is aimed at children from the age of 0 to 14 years, where we are kind of, we know that parenting is a very daunting, challenging task. Again, something that, people find it very difficult. And it's not only about conscious parenting, it's also how you kind of program the child in the right way, because we understand now that it's the initial years that are foundational years. So working parents and the India's first sleep talk consultants and trainer.
Hmm.
So I'm the only one right now, and also in UAE, I'm the only trainer at the moment. So
Wow.
that's again something that I do. Now going forward, um, my husband now, of course, remarried. So I'm
Wow,
here in Dubai living.
congratulations.
Yes, last 5 years living here with my husband,
Wow.
and he's in
So when
sales.
did you get into Dubai? I believe the story you were telling us before was India.
Yes,
But when did
yes.
you get to Dubai? Which year? And what was the transition like after coming to
It,
Dubai?
yeah, it was 2000 that I moved here with my husband, May 2015. So it's been 5 years now, quite eventful. And again, coming here, things didn't pan out the way we had actually imagined. So we came here with a thought to do something different, but then again, it didn't happen. We came here joining hands with one of my friends, and then things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. And he was with another friend, and there were just, kind of some internal shifts going on, and we had to close down that. So again, it was a very
Like a
challenging
roller
to
coaster ride.
yes, but then that's what, and I call it my adventures in life.
Mm.
So just, it's all about learning all the way, growing, and evolving all the way. Because at every step, if there are challenges, there are also solutions. You just got to find them. You just got to get yourself to that level where you can. I'm here, and I know I can do it.
Mm.
So right now, yes, this is what I do. And my husband, he's got a design and media production house, and he's been into the publication industry for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
forever, in fact.
Now,
So we
tell
are,
us about yourself. Yeah.
yeah. So coming to that, we are starting with launching a magazine called Aspire, and this is again I'm very much involved in it. And like when you ask me about my future plans, this is one of it. That magazine, I want to bring out success stories about people around me, entrepreneurs. So it's going to be a magazine for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs, where we want to bring to people about the lives of people, of entrepreneurs who've had their challenges, how they overcame that. So it could be a startup, it could be a launch, it could be somebody who's already well established. And even with established businesses, I do believe that it's not only about once you reach a certain point, there is nothing. There are going to be challenges. So how do you overcome that? And I've also started launch my own company in India. It's called Renee, Change with Renee.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Renee is the
Rene
meaning of,
means to be reborn. Am I right?
yes,
It's a French word.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a French word, and Renee means to be reborn. And I chose that word because it's inspired by my own life story of, actually being reborn. So I identify and relate with it very, very closely.
Mm.
So that's how Change with Renee came about.
Wow.
And I'm very, very passionate about what I do. I love what I do.
Mm. Excellent.
Information which is bringing out people, bring that change.
Mm. So that's very good in a nutshell. There are a few things I caught up about you. Now, one thing what I would like my audience to know and focus on. Number one, I like your quote. One cannot serve from an empty bowl. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are young, remember to fill yourself up first. Fill yourself up first to take care of yourself. And if you can take care of yourself, this is what Shagufta Patel is trying to tell us. If you can take care of yourself, that yes, you can take care of others. And it's a lovely narration, a story that she told us that is not only about herself, but two siblings, 16. And how old was your son then? 14 or 12?
12.
12.
12. He was 12.
16 and 12, my goodness me, teenagers almost, and other running. And to take care of them, single mother, single parent, acting as both husband and wife. Ooh, and in a man's world, I must say, must have been very, very daunting, challenging, and a monumental task. But, ladies and gentlemen, remember what she said. She said, failures are just stepping stones to success. Although her children went through emotional anchoring, whatever, you know, but she has evolved over the period of time into a woman of substance, a woman who never says no, who has, what shall I say, never say die attitude, and a woman who always wants to evolve into more and more and more. And she's finding it that more is less.
Yes,
And
absolutely. More is less. Yeah, there is always so much to do.
so much to do, and it looks so less for her, especially, you know. And this is a lesson, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to learn from persons who have been through trials, tests, tribulations, and have come out like true champions. Indeed, Shagufta Patel, you are a true champion. You are what you are. You are an inspiration story. The journey that you have been through is not has not been strewn with roses all along. There were so many thorns, but you have overcome all the obstacles to be what you are today. You're launching your new magazine, I must say. Wow. And this is all about entrepreneurs, businessmen, women, everybody
Yes.
out in the world. And what are you doing with all your skills, your resources, your talents that you have? You are helping your husband. Am I right?
Yes, in a way.
There you go. So you see, men out there, make use of the woman in your life. That they are not only they are your helpers also, and not only at home, but in your businesses. The talents that they have exploited, and that is what we have to learn from you. The balance that you have created with your work, your family life, your personal life. What about your other kind of life? Do you give time to yourself? Do you do introspection? On okay, I need to give time to myself. How the day went by? What do I do? What do I do next? Do you have that introspection, Shagu?
Definitely, Aditi and Leo, that is very, very important. It's very, very essential. You're always a work in progress because I again believe that everything that you do, every next level of you will demand a different version of you. And just like how we nourish ourselves, how we eat our food every day, how we need to bathe and clean, keep ourselves clean every day. Also, we need to work on our emotional health. We need to work on our energy. Like I said, it's very, very important.
It's
I
very
do definitely do a lot of
relevant.
interest. Sorry, have I lost
It's
you?
very relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very relevant. Yes. So definitely, all the time introspecting, knowing, okay, what is it that now I need to do, and what is it that's coming in my way to moving forward. Okay, because like I said, every next level of you will demand a different version of you. What works here is not going to work here. So to move from here to here, what are the limitations within me that I need to overcome? What are the roadblocks that I need to jump over? What are the skills that I need, right? Maybe I need a different set of skills. And
Oh,
I'm always, like I say, I'm always work in progress.
I would like to make a point here. In other words, you open your heart to learning, finding out,
Absolutely. Yes,
what I need to
absolutely.
do to overcome that obstacle which I have faced.
Yes. So at
You are
one point in
humble, in
time,
other words. You humble
at
yourself.
yes, absolutely. Always open to learning, always open to learning new things, new skills. And there was a point in time, let me tell you, where I had this fear of speaking. Right now, I take workshops, I do trainings for people. But there was a time growing up when I was very scared to speak. I lost my chance of being a prefect in school, which was my dream, just because I couldn't speak. I lost so many projects in college because I couldn't speak. Even in life, I had so much.
Are you serious? Because the way you
I
talk, you just keep on talking. I find
I
it hard to
couldn't.
believe.
Yes, I just couldn't speak in front of people, and that came from my conditioning, yeah, my programming, where my mother once told me, just for my own safety, that you should not talk, to people. And she said it with intention, but somewhere it went in my programming, and that's what we do, right? And if you've done NLP, we kind of reprogram the mind, we kind of reprogram the brain to move forward. So
Absolutely.
learning
We
new
need
skills
to
is important, and that's
reprogram
where
and reinvent ourselves.
Toastmasters came in, remember? Yes. And that's how I joined Toastmasters, and that's where we connected.
That's where we met. I believe Toastmasters is a good platform where they show you or you teach yourself. You know, to impress others, you need to express.
Absolutely.
Express to impress. That's what it's about.
And
And you mentioned about image consultancy, right?
yes,
You did mention about it. And that is one part of it, I must say. You know, image
yes,
consultancy was its important part of it.
yes.
Yeah.
Communication is part of your is part of your image, right? The way you speak,
I
the way
think,
you communicate is also very important.
uh, yep, that's part. And we had a short break there. But all in all, I must say you are a woman of substance. You have been through ups and downs in life, and which was like a roller coaster, and many a times like a carousel going round and round. But that has not deterred you. That has not prevented you. That has not stopped you from getting what you want in life, no matter what the circumstances. That is your resilience, that inner thing part of your life, that yes, I am made for this. This is my DNA, and this is I need to achieve, no matter what's the odds. Even if it's the man's world out there, no, I can do it. And this is a very good example story about you to all of us today. And what I liked about one thing about you, what you mentioned, you're passionate about people, you're passionate about change. These are the two very important ingredients, what I can summarize about you, in your entire episode, which you are trying to convey the message. I like that word about we can only change with the people around us, knowing them, understanding them better. And change, I like what you mentioned. Take a chance. to make a change, to make a choice, sorry. Take a chance to make a choice and make a choice to make that change. Because I realized one thing, between the alphabets B and D, there is a word called C. B stands for birth, D stands for death, and C stands for change.
So true.
So between B and D, birth and death, there is a big gap in our life called change. And we need to change whatever circumstances or consequences that befalls on us. We need to get up, and get up every time life throws us down. Because if it is to be,
Just life, just to add here, I said life does not come with a remote control, and we are not trees. We are not rooted and planted in one place. So we have to get up, and we've got to make that change ourselves, or
but
things
you,
are not going to change.
I agree with you, but you are your remote control.
Absolutely, we are. It's in our hands.
My remote
Totally.
control is my remote control of my life is in my hands. I decide what you want me to do. I decide what I want to do. In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, which I like very much, what lies in front of, sorry, what she said, somebody else's opinion need not be your reality. And I like what Ralph Waldo Emerson said, you know, what lies in front of you and what lies behind you is nothing compared to what lies within you.
Within
And
you.
what lies within you is your attitude. You had that attitude within you, Shagufta Patel, to make the change, not only in you, but all those around you. A great inspirational story. I must indeed say, and I repeat here once again what you said, one cannot serve from an empty bowl. I will not get tired of repeating this, I must say, because repetition is the mother of learning. I need to fill myself up before I fill others. In other words, you are opening your heart to learning. I am a student of learning, and now I've become a student of yours. And you have encouraged, empowered, and evolved my belief that yes, learning never stops at any age. We need to fill our bowl because our bowl never gets filled up. There's always more and more and more. As you said, I say, more is less in today's world. You know, with that, I must conclude today's talk, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Leo's YouTube channel, Speak From Your Heart, where we had Shagufta Patel narrate, tell us a story about where she was, where she is today, and where she is going to go. All in one world. She has evolved to be a better person of what she is. She has never given up, no matter what the odds, what life has thrown at her. And she is not happy with what she has, and she wants more and more and more. And, ladies and gentlemen, she is doing a course which I will share it with you in a moment, how to get in touch with her and to know more about her and to be perhaps like her or even better than her, which she is open to teach you, to tell us about it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here it is. Let me throw out at her. This is where you can get in touch with her, and this is about Shagufta Patel. Make a note, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we come to the end of talking with Shagufta Patel, who empowering women. Thank you.
Thank you, DP and Leo. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure talking